In this video, I will be discussing emotional elements as well as thematic elements within The Great Gatsby and the effect that they have on the characters and other characters within the story. Also, this is the pre-argument scene that I am analyzing in Chapter 7. Panel 1, Myrtle. Style, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Jealousy. He had discovered that Myrtle had some sort of life apart from him in another life. Her eyes, wide with jealous terror, were fixed, not on Tom, but on Jordan Baker, whom she took to be his wife. All characters fall in one way or another in Fitzgerald's story. In this case, it is jealousy that is Myrtle's downfall. Because she is unable to see past herself and her own wants and desires, she is consumed by jealousy, and then therefore is consumed by her own hatred, and she is unable to accept the reality of her relationship with Tom, which is that of an affair. Tom. Style, Hunter x Hunter. Arrogance. I suppose the latest thing is to sit back and let Mr. Nobody from nowhere make love to your wife. Next, they'll throw everything overboard and have intermarriage between black and white. Tom, like Myrtle, suffers from arrogance, but in this case, his arrogance is pure. He's unable to argue properly because he cannot see past that. When it comes to a confrontation, it's always, I'm better than you, you're worse than me. Because of this, he loses many people he loves and is hurt, and that inevitably becomes his downfall, and why he loses Daisy, and why he loses all his friends. Nick. Style? Theme and humility. There was no such difference between men in intelligence or race so profound as the difference between the sick and poor. No, I just remembered that today's my birthday. In this quote, Nick shows the theme that Fitzgerald tries to show in this scene, which is that basically the rich are arrogant. They cannot accept fact for fact, and that inevitably is their downfall. He also showcases humility in that he chooses very few words, and when he does, they're always out of being humble and not out of his own self-interest. Panel 3, Gatsby. Style, Black Butler. Fear and greed. It doesn't matter anymore. Just tell him the truth. That you never loved him, and it's all wiped out forever. He looked, and this is said in all contempt, for the babbled slander of his garden, as if he had killed a man. Gatsby's downfall is that he fears what he cannot have, which is that he cannot have Daisy. And so, when that inevitably is challenged, and Daisy might look the other way, it's his anger that takes control of him, and he ends up losing what he wanted most in life. Panel 5, Daisy. Style, Dragon Ball Z. Panic. With every word she was drawing further and further into herself, as though she realized at last what she was doing, and as though she had never, all along, intended doing anything at all. Daisy's emotional element is panic. She wants Gatsby, but she doesn't want to hurt Tom either. This drives her into a frenzy, and she is unable to function. Panel 6, Jordan. Style, Beavis and Butthead. Contemplation. Jordan, who had begun to balance an invisible but absorbing object on top of her chin. We're all right here. Jordan is probably closest to the author besides Nick, the narrator. She uses contemplation to distinguish herself in certain situations. Because of this, she does not fall like the others. She is able to survive. And when she does get into tough situations, like that when Tom has a racist outburst, she is able to calm the situation herself. Panel 7, Pammy. Style, Over the Garden Wall. She represents the theme of hope. Blessed Precious, come to your own mother that loves you. You dream, you absolute little dream. Pammy represents hope in the story. She is one person that everybody likes, whether they think about her or not, like that of Gatsby. However, she represents a person who is of the noble class, who is not arrogant, and who is dignified. And that gives her the hope that people like Gatsby, and like Nick, and like that of Tom, can be better people, and less arrogant. George. Style, Adventure Time. Although he is not shown within this scene, George is foreshadowed many times within the story. In the lines, the locality was always vaguely disquieting, even in the broad glare of afternoon, and now I turn my head as though I had warned of something behind. It seems that pretty soon the earth's going to fall into the sun. Or wait a minute, it's just the opposite. The sun's getting colder every single year. The overarching theme of selfishness. Afterward, he kept looking at the child with surprise. I don't think he had ever believed in its existence before. Listen, Tom, if you're such a snob, why did you invite him to lunch? All these characters look out for themselves and no one else. They are all selfish. This leads their friendship to just be one giant rivalry between each of them, with everybody lying to everybody. This makes them disregard the important things in life, like that of Daisy's daughter, and forget that there is life outside of this friendship, outside of this evil that they all want for each other. I put the original cover for panel 10. I think that the face represents the character of God within the story. So like the inactive spiritual forces and the foreshadowing and everything. And so I do count that as a character within it. His wife and his mistress, until about an hour ago, seemed involatile. They were slipping precipitately from his control. Angry as I was, as we all were, I was tempted to laugh whenever he opened his mouth. The transition from libertine to prig was so complete. At the core of the story, I think this is the overall message. That by being so arrogant and by disregarding everything else in life, inevitably all that will slip away. Because all the characters thought of themselves as so highly and then refused to see anything else besides their own ego, they inevitably caused the self-destruction that they were trying to avoid by being so arrogant. Conclusion. Selflessness. Afterward, he kept looking at the child with surprise. I don't think he had ever believed in its existence before. Listen, Tom, if you're such a snob, why did you invite him to lunch? So in conclusion, if these characters were not so selfish, and if these characters could look something beyond themselves and at each other and as friends, maybe then none of this drama would have ever happened. Maybe Gatsby would be alive. And that is my closing message. Miss Mueller, I hope you have a great summer. I hope that this video was easy to watch. I tried to make it comedic as possible. And yeah, have a good summer.